Principal Skinner lures Bart, Jimbo, Kearney, Dolphin, Nelson to the school basement with the promise of free mountain bikes. When they get there, however, the boys are informed that they are being swept under the rug. During inspection by Superintendent Chalmers, Bart escapes through a ventilation shaft to get outside and unlock the door for the rest of the bullies. Before he reaches the basement, he observes groundskeeper Willie's tractor with the keys in the ignition, and, after having mental conversation with said tractor, it takes a joyride. He quickly loses control, bails out of the tractor straight, and bails out, and the tractor strikes Chalmers at full speed in the rear. While being treated for the injury, Chalmers informs Skinner that the accident has cost him a promotion to assistant superintendent, which is going to a man named Holloway, who is described as a drunk and a pill popper. Skinner tries to change his mind, but is so. Chalmers is also not happy about the fact that the person who treated him was lunch lady Doris rather than actual nurse. Furious at being cost a promotion, Skinner informs Bart that there won't be a detention this time. This incident and its consequences will are the last straw. Bart is officially expelled from Springfield Elementary. Meanwhile, Kent Brockman announces that a celebration that was found to be disgusting and puerile by a group of hillbillies is coming up Whacking Day. Every May 10th, the people of Springfield drive snakes to the center of town and beat them to death. Lisa is appalled at the upcoming Whacking Day celebration, but her protests fall on deaf ears, especially her father, who is eager to participate. She tries to appeal to Reverend Lovejoy, but he claims even the Bible allows it, but she calls his bluff by asking to see the Bible, but he refuses. Bart remains expelled from Springfield Elementary for striking Superintendent Chalmers. His parents try enrolling him in a private Christian school. He gets in trouble and is expelled almost immediately for saying beans, beans, a magic musical fruit when asked for a psalm, and is chased from the building by the teacher and other students. Marge decides to homeschool Bart. For one of her assignments, Marge gives Bart Johnny Tremain to read, which was a favorite of hers when she was a little girl. Bart gains interest in the book when learning the protagonist was deformed by being wounded in a war, and afterwards starts becoming a serious student, even missing an episode of Itchy and Scratchy to read the book. Due to his vast interest in the book, Marge takes Bart on a field trip to Old Springfield town, where there, the tour guide, using a slideshow, shows a photo of Jebediah Springfield leading an attack on Fort Ticonderoga and then creating Whacking Day on May 10, 1775. However, Bart quickly realizes Jebediah was leading the assault on Fort Ticonderoga the day he supposedly created Whacking Day, and questions how he could have been in two places at once. At a loss for words, the squeaky-voiced teen in charge of the tour calls security to have Bart and Marge kicked out. The day before Whacking Day, Lisa tries one final time to insist that Homer not lower himself to the level of others, but Homer is set on participating in Whacking Day. On the day of the event, Barry White, who Mayor Quimbley wrongly introduces as Larry White, arrives to begin festivities. He originally says he's honored, but when he discovers what the holiday is about, he's disgusted and exclaims, "You people make me sick!" To the ignorant joy of the assembled crowd, are replaced by Miss Springfield. Before the event starts, the children's choir sings, and then everyone sets off. Bart finds out about the true origin of Whacking Day. He suggests, after some reading, to Lisa that they can lure the snakes into safety by playing music with a lot of bass and putting the stereo speakers to the ground due to the special hearing. Homer's record collection, which boasts such gems as Tiny Tim, the Chipmunks, and a Castrato Christmas, leaves much to be desired. When they get some assistance from Barry White, who's conveniently walking by, Bart brings their karaoke machine and speaker outside, turns the volume up to 11, and places the speakers face down on the ground. Then, with White's deep vocals and Lisa's bass guitar playing, they attract hundreds of snakes to the house to the tune of White's 1974 hat song, "Can't Get Enough of Your Love, Babe." The crowd arrives in pursuit, but they are soon turned around on the subject of Whacking Day by Bart's newfound knowledge. It turns out the day was actually invented in 1924 as an excuse to beat up the Irish. The fact confirmed by a fellow Irishman, Lisa implores the crowd further, pointing out how the presence of snakes has been beneficial to the community, resulting in the crowd cheering for the snakes. Mayor Quimby, not knowing that the city has changed its heart, shows up with pre-waxed snakes, but is booed by the crowd. Angered, Quimby calls them fickle mush heads. The crowd admit that he is correct and cheer for him while the surviving snakes flee away to freedom. Skinner is impressed with Bart's efforts and welcomes him back to school, where he will be reunited with the rest of the students, until Skinner realizes that he forgot about the other students locked in the basement fallout shelter. While the bullies hold a support group about their oppressive behavior, Skinner and Willie drive to the school with boxes of mountain bikes and plan to flee to the border in case the bullies are found dead in the basement.